Ladies, listen up. I got to tell you something straight up. You don't have to be begging, crying, or texting him at 2 a.m. to get him back. Let me break it down for you because I've seen it 1,000 times and it works every single time if you do it right. Stop chasing. I cannot stress this enough, ladies. So many of you fall into this trap where you think that if you text him one more time, call him one more time, or show up at his favorite spots just to run into him, that somehow he's going to wake up and realize you're the one. Let me tell you something, that is not how it works. Chasing a man only pushes him further away. The more you chase, the less he values your presence, and the more he starts taking you for granted. And I know, it hurts. You feel like if you just do a little bit more, if you just try a little harder, he's going to come running back. But here's the truth, men are wired differently. And when you're constantly available, when you're constantly chasing, you give away your power. You make yourself the option instead of the prize. Now, the key is to stop obsessing over him. Stop making his attention the measure of your worth. That doesn't mean you don't care. That doesn't mean you're cold or heartless. What it means is that you're putting yourself first, and that is magnetic. When a man sees that you're living your life without him controlling your happiness, that's when he starts to notice. He starts to question why he's not the center of your world anymore. And the truth is, ladies, that's exactly what makes him want you back. Because people chase what they can't control and they respect what they have to earn. This is the moment where you focus on yourself. Do the things that bring you joy. Surround yourself with friends who lift you up. Pursue passions that make your soul light up and invest in your personal growth. Go to the places you've been wanting to go. Try new experiences and live life unapologetically. When you immerse yourself in your own happiness, it's like flipping a switch. You radiate energy that he can feel, even if he's not around you. And trust me, absence does make the heart grow fonder. Another part of stopping the chase is controlling your impulses. That urge to text him, "Hey, I miss you," or "Why are you ignoring me?" Resist it. That message does nothing but reinforce the idea that your life revolves around him. Instead, take a step back, take a deep breath, channel that energy into yourself, into things that make you proud. Because nothing at all makes someone regret losing you more than seeing you happy, thriving, and completely unaffected by their absence. And let me tell you, it's not about being petty or playing games. It's about reclaiming your power. When you stop chasing, you stop giving him the control he's been holding over you, intentionally or not. You show him that you're a whole person, not someone who exists for his approval or attention. That kind of presence, that kind of energy is irresistible to a man who's starting to realize what he's missing. He doesn't have to try to pull you in. Your confidence, your independence, and your happiness do it all for you effortlessly. Confidence, ladies, is everything. I mean, think about it. When a woman walks into a room and owns her space, you feel it immediately. You don't have to say a word for people to notice. That's the kind of energy that draws a man back, even if he's with someone else. Confidence isn't about being loud or over the top. It's about knowing your worth and carrying yourself like you belong in every room you enter. So many women underestimate how magnetic confidence can be. They think if they just act a certain way, text at the right time, or play small, they'll get him back. But the truth is, a man doesn't chase what doesn't challenge him. And confidence is exactly the challenge that makes him pay attention. Now, building confidence starts with you. It starts with self-respect. When you know your value, when you recognize that you're not an option or a backup plan, that confidence radiates in everything you do. It's in the way you speak, the way you dress, the way you carry yourself. It's not about perfection. It's about authenticity. And men can feel authenticity. They're drawn to it. When you stand tall, literally and figuratively. When you smile and hold your head high, even if inside you're feeling a little scared or uncertain, you're telling the world and him that you're untouchable, that you're worth every bit of effort. Confidence also means setting boundaries. It means knowing what you will and will not accept in any relationship. It means not allowing someone to disrespect you or take you for granted. And when he sees that you won't settle for less than you deserve, that's when he starts to wonder why he ever left or why he ever let someone else have you. Confidence communicates value without you ever having to say it. It's silent, powerful, and magnetic. Another part of confidence is self-improvement. When you invest in yourself, when you work on your skills, your mindset, your health, and your happiness, that's confidence in action. It's saying, I am enough, I am growing, and I am unstoppable. A man can't ignore that kind of energy. He sees you glowing, and it reminds him of all the reasons he was drawn to you in the first place. Your confidence becomes a reflection of your worth, and that reflection makes him stop and reassess everything he thought he wanted. And here's the secret about confidence. It's not about controlling him, it's about controlling yourself. When you focus on being confident for your own sake, for your own life, you no longer chase, you no longer plead, and you no longer worry about whether he's thinking about you. That energy, that independence, it pulls him back in ways you can't force. Men are attracted to women who own themselves, who love themselves, and who live boldly. That kind of confidence is irresistible because it communicates strength, security, and desire without ever having to demand it. Being unavailable strategically is one of the most powerful tools you can use when trying to get a man back. Now, I know some of you are thinking, but if I don't answer him, he'll forget about me. And let me tell you, that is not how it works. Men are wired to chase what they can't have, to be drawn to what feels just out of reach. And when you make yourself too available, you take away all that mystery and excitement. Being unavailable isn't about playing games or being petty. It's about reclaiming your power and letting him feel what it's like to live without you for a moment. When he begins to notice your absence, when he realizes you're not sitting around waiting for his calls or messages, that's when the shift happens, and he starts to miss you like he should have all along. Strategic unavailability is more than just ignoring a text or skipping a call. It's about creating space in his life where he starts to reflect on what he has lost. He begins to remember the laughter, the intimacy, the moments only the two of you share. And in that space, he starts to question why he's letting someone else have a woman who is vibrant, captivating, and full of life. When you consistently maintain your distance while still living fully, you send a message without saying a word. You're valuable, you're independent, and you're not desperate. That tension, that pull is irresistible because it forces him to recognize your worth. Another key element of being unavailable is balance. You don't want to disappear completely and make him think you've moved on, but you also don't want to be so present that he takes you for granted. It's about keeping him intrigued and engaged while still living your life on your terms. Go out with friends, pursue hobbies, focus on work, and do things that make you happy. When he sees that you're not waiting around, that your world doesn't revolve around him, he starts to feel the absence in a way that words alone could never achieve. The contrast between the life you're living and the one he's currently in sparks desire, curiosity, and a longing to be part of your energy again. Strategic unavailability also allows him the opportunity to reflect on his own choices. When a man is with someone else and suddenly feels the pull of your absence, he's forced to examine why he's there, why he's with her, and whether she can offer what you bring into his life. It's a subtle but powerful shift in perspective, and it works because you're no longer putting all the power in his hands. You're creating the space for him to realize that he can't replace what he lost, that he can't replicate your energy, and that ultimately he wants to come back to the person he can't stop thinking about. Being unavailable is not about manipulation. It's about strategy, timing, and self-respect. It's about understanding human nature and using it to your advantage while simultaneously elevating yourself and your life. When done correctly, it has a magnetic effect, drawing him back in ways that pleading or chasing never could, because absence paired with authenticity always speaks louder than presence paired with desperation. Upgrading your appearance and energy is one of the fastest ways to make him notice you again. Now, I'm not talking about changing who you are or pretending to be someone you're not. I'm talking about showing the world, and most importantly yourself, that you care about yourself, your confidence, and your presence. When a woman takes care of her appearance, dresses with intention, and carries herself with pride, it sends a clear message that she values herself. Men notice that immediately. They are wired to be attracted to energy, presence, and vitality. And when you elevate your physical and emotional energy, it acts like a magnet that pulls him back without you even having to say a word. Let's start with appearance. Ladies, you don't have to look like a model from a magazine to captivate a man. It's about taking care of yourself in a way that makes you feel confident and proud. That might mean updating your wardrobe to reflect your personal style, experimenting with makeup if that's your thing, or simply maintaining your hygiene and grooming. The small details matter because they communicate self-respect and intentionality. When you look good, you feel good, and that confidence radiates in every interaction. Energy and appearance are intertwined. One cannot exist without the other. When you upgrade your appearance, you upgrade your energy automatically, and men pick up on that instantly. Energy is just as important, if not more important, than appearance. Your energy is the vibe you bring into a room, the way you carry yourself, the emotions you project. High energy, positivity, and joy are magnetic qualities that draw people toward you, while negativity, desperation, and low energy repel them. When you focus on cultivating a vibrant, confident, and joyful energy, he can feel it even from a distance. Whether you're at work, out with friends, or simply living your day-to-day life, that energy makes him remember what he loved about you in the first place. It reminds him of the connection, the fun, and the excitement he experienced when he was with you. Upgrading your energy also involves self-care and self-growth. Eat well, exercise, meditate, pursue hobbies, and engage in activities that make you feel alive. When you're investing in yourself, your life becomes richer, fuller, and more captivating. That investment doesn't just make you feel amazing, it makes him realize what he's missing. A man who sees you glowing with life, laughter, and confidence will naturally be drawn back because he wants to be part of that energy. Another critical aspect is carrying yourself with presence. Stand tall, speak with clarity, and make eye contact. Your body language communicates strength and self-assuredness in a way words never could. When you combine appearance, energy, and presence, you create an aura of attractiveness and allure that is hard for anyone, especially him, to ignore. He will begin to notice changes, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally, and it will plant the seed of curiosity and longing that grows every day he's not with you. Reconnecting emotionally rather than physically is one of the most powerful moves you can make when trying to get a man back. Too often, women think that all it takes is a late-night text, a flirty message, or a casual meetup to pull him back in. But that's only a short-term solution. What really makes a man stop, think, and desire you again is when you tap into the emotions you once shared, the memories and feelings that made your connection unique and unforgettable. Men remember how you made them feel long before they remember what you wore or what you said. When you reconnect emotionally, you create an irresistible pull that goes deeper than surface-level attraction. Start by recalling the good times you shared together, the inside jokes, the laughter, and the moments where he felt truly understood and appreciated by you. Those moments are powerful because they trigger nostalgia, and nostalgia is one of the strongest emotions humans experience. When you bring up a memory, a shared experience, or even a subtle reference that only the two of you understand, it sparks feelings he might have buried or forgotten. It reminds him of the bond you had and the comfort, safety, and happiness he felt when he was with you. That emotional connection is far more compelling than anything physical because it touches the heart and mind simultaneously, making him crave not just your presence but your essence. Another key part of emotional reconnection is active listening. When you talk to him, focus on understanding him rather than trying to impress or convince him. Show empathy and genuine interest in his life, his struggles, and his victories. When a man feels truly seen and heard, it awakens a longing for the connection you shared. Emotional reconnection is about creating a safe space where he can feel vulnerable, understood, and appreciated. It's about reminding him that the bond between you is irreplaceable, that there's a part of him that belongs to you, and that no one else can replicate that connection. Timing and subtlety are crucial. You don't want to overwhelm him or come across as desperate. Emotional reconnection works best when it's gradual, natural, and authentic. Small gestures, thoughtful messages, or casual conversations that highlight shared experiences can reignite feelings without putting pressure on him. The goal is to stir emotions, not manipulate them, to remind him why he loved you in the first place and why he can't stop thinking about you. Reconnecting emotionally also means being mindful of your own energy. You have to be centered, confident, and emotionally balanced when you initiate this type of interaction. If you're needy, insecure, or anxious, it will negate the effect because men are drawn to strength, stability, and positivity. By being emotionally grounded, you amplify the impact of your reconnection, making him associate you with comfort, joy, and excitement. When done correctly, emotional reconnection creates a powerful pull that no physical attraction alone can achieve. It reminds him of the intimacy you shared, the bond that was unique, and the feelings he can't replace. It plants the seed of longing, nostalgia, and desire, making him realize that what he has now is nothing compared to what he once had with you. Letting him make the move is one of the hardest things to do, but it's also the most effective when it comes to getting him back. Too many women fall into the trap of thinking that they have to chase, convince, or persuade a man to return. They send endless messages, show up uninvited, and try to remind him of what he's missing, but all of that only diminishes your power. True attraction, the kind that makes a man want you back fast, comes when he has to make the decision for himself. When you step back and allow him the space to act, you're putting yourself in a position of strength, and that's irresistible because it communicates that you are confident, independent, and in control of your own happiness. Stepping back doesn't mean ignoring him completely or pretending you don't care. It means living your life fully, focusing on yourself, and creating an environment where he begins to feel your absence in a real and tangible way. When a man sees that you are thriving, happy, and not waiting around for him to validate your worth, he starts to realize that the choice to come back has consequences. He starts to understand that if he wants you, he has to step up because you are no longer the woman who will drop everything at his beck and call. This shift in power dynamics is subtle but incredibly powerful. It forces him to confront his feelings, assess what he's lost, and take responsibility for his actions. Another critical element of letting him make the move is patience. You can't rush it. You can't manipulate it. Men respond to timing, absence, and the realization of value. The longer you maintain your independence and continue to live your life authentically, the more he will feel compelled to act. He will begin to see the contrast between the life he has now and the life he could have with you, and that comparison is what drives desire and urgency. Every day he goes without making a move, he becomes more aware of what he's missing and more motivated to reclaim it. It's also about self-restraint, the urge to reach out, to remind him of your presence, or to create opportunities for contact can be strong, especially when you care deeply. But exercising restraint is a demonstration of your self-respect and self-worth. By not forcing the situation, you allow him to initiate contact from a place of genuine interest rather than obligation. When he makes the first move, it's powerful because it comes from his own desire not from your insistence. And that authenticity makes his return more meaningful and sustainable. Letting him make the move also gives you clarity. By stepping back, you gain perspective on the relationship, on your feelings, and on his intentions. You observe his behavior without being entangled in the drama, and that observation allows you to make better decisions for yourself, regardless of the outcome. You are no longer reacting emotionally or impulsively. You are guiding the process with intelligence and self-assuredness, and that is magnetic to a man who is beginning to recognize what he's lost. When a man realizes that the power has shifted and that the choice to pursue you rests entirely in his hands, the desire to act becomes almost irresistible. He begins to see that you are a prize, that your love is valuable, and that he can no longer take you for granted. That awareness, combined with everything you've done to elevate yourself emotionally, physically, and mentally, sets the stage for him to make the move and come back into your life on his own terms, driven by genuine longing and recognition of what he truly wants.